Let's demonstrate and explain the answers to case study number 2, Mudaraba financing. The first requirement is assuming a profit of 550,000 pesos. And the issue is how are we going to allocate the 550,000 pesos total profit. Take note that based on the facts of the case, there are two Mudaraba contracts entered into. The first Mudaraba contract is entered into by the following parties: the Bank Islam as the Mudarib, Omar, Juan, and Maria are the capital providers based on the agreed ratios of 2:5:5:5:2. Then Bank Islam as the Mudarib in the first Mudaraba contract entered into Rem Mudaraba, a second Mudaraba contract with the Ehsan Development Company. And based on such contract, the agreed ratio is 30% for Ehsan Development Company and 70% for Bank Islam. So Bank Islam as the Mudarib in the first contract becomes a Rabbul Mal in the second contract when he entered into a Rem Mudaraba with Ehsan Development Company. Based on the total profit of 550,000 pesos, first we need to determine or calculate the profit attributable to Ehsan Development Company based on the agreed ratio. Accordingly, Ehsan Development Company has 30% of the total profit of 550,000 pesos. Hence, the profit attributable to it is 165,000 pesos. The remaining balance is to be distributed among the parties in the first Mudaraba contract, the Bank Islam, Omar, Juan, and Maria, based on their agreed ratio, 2:5:5:2, the 70%. So the 70% of 550,000 is to be allocated or distributed based on these ratios. Therefore, the calculation is 70% of 550,000 multiplied by 2/14. Hence, Bank has a profit of 55,000. The same manner of calculation or procedure with respect to other parties, such as Omar, Juan, and Maria. For Omar, the profit attributable to him is 137,500 based on his share of 5/14. Juan, the same amount, and Maria, 55,000, considering that he has the same ratio with respect to the bank. And that is the distribution of profit of 550,000 pesos. How about the loss of 350,000 pesos? Considering that this is a Mudaraba contract, therefore, Ehsan Development Company as Mudarib and Bank Islam as Mudarib in the first contract will not bear any loss. And therefore, the Rabbul Mal, the original capital providers such as Omar, Juan, Maria, shall bear the losses and shall distribute the total loss of 350,000 pesos based on the agreed ratio with respect to the first Mudaraba contract with the Bank Islam. And considering that Omar has 5/12 based on the agreed ratio, then his share is 145,833. The same amount with respect to Juan. And Maria, considering that he has a lower share, then her share is 58,333. So these are the answers to case study number 2, Mudaraba financing.